So for any of you who know me, you know I'm not a note taker. I am not a person who writes a speech, and I don't get prepared for things like this. But for some reason, today I felt I should. And I look around and I'm glad I did. And I want to start off by just saying and explain a little bit. As Chairman Holloway mentioned, this is the first time in the history of Paris something like this has been done. And I want to give you a little bit of the history of how we got from that to today. And it started with a board meeting that was a very long process to get to, with three board members that decided that this town was ready for its first full-time fire chief. And through multiple meetings and multiple special meetings, as most of you know, have to give 24-hour notice to make sure they can get together. And it's also a first full-time person in the history of Paris. So it wasn't just who's the right person, but it was all the other back stuff that came to it. And it was amazing the work and effort that was put together between the clerk, the deputy clerk, the two supervisors, and the chairman to even get us here. Well, then that meeting came and we agreed on it and everything was done. And there was a gentleman from the fire department who came to that meeting and said, if we're going to pick a fire chief and make him full-time, we need to follow the traditions of the fire service. Firefighter Ed Squires asked, could we do a pinning ceremony? And that's what led us to this. But unfortunately, none of us really knew what that meant. Which in a very long-winded way gets me to my first thank you. And that is to Battalion Chief Wes Miner of the Bristol Fire Department. If you look around to the detail of hoses around the flags, to this book that you should all come up and take a look at what he put together, he turned an event that none of us knew really where to begin to one of the most amazing ceremonies I've been a part of. And Wes, thank you so much for everything you've done for us and guiding us in the right direction. And unfortunately, Supervisor Kenny Munson couldn't be here today, but we have Supervisor Ron Butke, and as you have all met, Chairman John Holloway. One of the biggest things for me to take this job was I needed to know that I had a board that supported me. And a board that I could work with. We could go into a room, we could close the door and disagree, because that's what's going to happen in life. We're never going to agree on everything. And those three gentlemen through this whole process proved to me that this was the job I wanted. This was the career I wanted to finish hopefully my working career doing, and a group of three individuals that I wanted to do that with. So I want to thank all three of you so much for everything that you've done for the town and for myself. I want to thank the community. I look around and I see members of this community. The Wampel family, the Huffs are here. These are members of this community that when we told them that we were going to a full-time fire chief, they got excited. They wanted to be a part of this history of changing here. And they showed up for this. You know, the retired Chief Doug McElmary as a resident, as a retired assistant chief from here, as my old assistant chief and the chief of Pleasant Prairie being here. And seeing that was just, it showed that the decision that we made to go to this role of a full-time fire chief was the right thing. Aaron was here as our photographer and as a resident and on every committee I think in the town right now and being a part. And we just had that support not only from the people here who saw it from the inside, but from the community who saw it from the outside and really supported this next step in the department. And then that leads me to one of the most important to me, and that's my family. It's not easy being on the volunteer fire department, being a full-time paid or anything. One of the things that I've always said is the biggest difference between a career fire department and a department structured with part-time and paid-on-call members is when your spouse goes to work, you know they're at work and that's all you need to know. And it stays there. When members of this department go to bed, their pagers go off and they have to react. Their loved ones are sitting in bed wondering where are they going, what are they going to, and are they coming home? Yes, we worry every day when our full-time career guys go to work, but we don't know what actual call they're going on. We also don't know that that's the neighbor that they're going to. That's one of the things that my family goes through every day, and that was a decision I had to make when I decided to take this role, was could I leave my family behind to do that call? I chose yes. I have their support. As I said, the process wasn't the fastest to go here in this. They supported me through that. They supported me through a career change. I was a commercial lender in banking right before I came here. Prior to that, I was a part-time paid-on-call firefighter for the village of Pleasant Prairie. I've always had it in my heart to be a firefighter, but it took my family to see that to encourage me to take this next leap. And I thank my family for that. And then with this oath, I see one other step, and that step is, what is my promise to all of you? I come from a structure, like I said, of the Village of Pleasant Prairie Fire Department. Doug McElmary here was my assistant chief. Now Chief Rupke was my captain at the time. And they came from an organization that believed in training. They believed in preparedness, being ready for that call. When the tones dropped, you didn't think about what do I have to do, you just did it because your training was there. That is what I hope to bring to this community. One, for the members of this department, that they will be ready for those calls. Two, for our community members who will know that the people who are arriving to their house are fully trained and ready to help them in any way they need to. And then I look around and I see all the different blue. We have Bristol, we have Racine, Pleasant Prairie, Salem Lakes, we have representatives from Summers, we have Paris, we have retired members from other departments that are looking to come onto our department. We have all these neighbors. The fire service is a community that holds strong. We will always be there. I was laughing with a couple members that I think I've been on as many calls with them as I have the members of our department because we work so close together. That structure of this community is because of all the different leaders that have done this job prior to me and are currently doing it. Chief Rupke, Chief LaCar, Chief Anderson, Chief Nieder, who couldn't be here tonight. These are all the surrounding chiefs in this area who have always pulled together, and I now step into that role with the chief of Kenosha County with honor to hold up the same standards that they've held through the years. So I thank you for your support. I thank you for coming. I will make this as short as I could because I know I'm one of the steps before cake. And thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all afterwards and taking pictures. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone here that chose to attend this evening. It's a sign of respect for Chief Hennessey, and it's also a testament to the willingness of all the departments to work together. So thank you very, very much. Colin, the town of Paris is a community of history and tradition. We're tied to the land and to the community. It is my hope that we have begun a new tradition tonight with this ceremony. And we are looking forward to watching you write the next chapter of our history. There are some refreshments. Colin did promise cake, so if there's not cake, it's his fault. Please mingle, congratulate Colin and his family. Samantha is here, would like to talk to you. With people chose to speak with her as well. So thank you very much for coming, and enjoy each other.